why I stopped having Botox. I stopped having it because I've had it for about 8 years or so. The last time I had it was about 7.5 months ago. It wears off with me within about 4 months. It's gone pretty much. The problem I had was I got severe dry eyes, really bad, so irritating. I had some nerve damage here and I had a lot of bruising. The bruising, yeah, I get that happens. I can put up with that. The nerve damage, I don't know why any of this happened. I think it was because, a lot of it was because I was really tense when I went in there. I was having a very anxious morning, so I was very tensed up. And I think maybe that's why I got this damage here. I don't know if that would be the case or not. Maybe you say to me that that can't happen. I don't know. But anyway, after that time, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do it anymore, because at the end of the day, it's a toxin, isn't it? And I've done it for a long time, and I know that you could go for years and be fine and then, not be. So it wasn't that bad, but it was bad enough that I thought, I don't want dry eyes like that for like 3 months at a time. That's a long time. And I was constantly putting moisturizing drops into my eyes, which was doing my head in. It was giving me eye strain. It was making me feel like I had a really bad eye strain as well. So what do? I thought, what am I going to do? There is not really an alternative. So I do a lot of facial exercise at the moment. I follow Sadie Nardini on Instagram. Took a lot of her exercises forward with me, and various other ones that I use from other people. So I do that, and I thought I'll just have to look at some for my head. But really, I thought, I just don't know. If I'm making those muscles stronger, is that just not going to be worse? I didn't really know. And then I thought, oh, I remember years ago reading about frownies. I'll have a look at those again. So that's what I've been doing basically. So frownies facial patches, and combined with, not on the same day, but I also use my perfect eyes on my head. So I'm just going to tell you how I do it. Like, you're never going to get the exact look that you get from Botox, because you can move your head. I can move it and I can frown, and I haven't been able to do that for 8 years. So obviously it's never going to look as great as Botox, but I just didn't care about that. I don't care about the dynamic lines anymore, which I used to, but I really couldn't give a stuff about this anymore. I just don't want my static lines to get worse. And before I started having Botox, the static lines on my forehead were really quite deep and noticeable to me. Maybe they weren't to other people, but they were to me. So what I do of an evening is, before I go to bed, I will put my frownies on. The one downside I have found to them, and people say that you can use them with product, but I am not able to, because as soon as I have product on there, even when I let it dry, they just don't stick as well, and I don't feel like they are firm enough, so I can't have any product on my forehead. So I thought that would really dry out my skin, but it really hasn't been a problem, because I use my skincare the next day, and actually even when I peel it off, it kind of feels quite nice actually. It doesn't look dry and it doesn't feel dry at all, which is a surprise. I don't know why that should be, because I do have naturally dry skin, but that hasn't happened. So I do that for about maybe 4 or 5 nights, and then for the 2 that I'm not doing that, I will use my perfect eyes, and all I do is put a pea-sized amount on my finger and rub it into my forehead. That does the same thing as the frowny, so it holds it really firm, but I think it does allow me to frown slightly, because in the morning I can see that I can frown slightly, whereas I can't as soon as I peel the frownies off. I can't really frown for hours really, but I can with the My Perfect Eyes. But the My Perfect Eyes is great for filling in those static lines, and kind of like it just does improve those static lines. So I find that works really well. What I do in the morning is I peel off the frownies, which is quite uncomfortable, and I put a ton of water on. I spray water on it and let it soak in a bit, and then start peeling it off really gradually, and my skin is really, really pink when I do that, but that only lasts about half an hour. But then I'll put some more My Perfect Eyes on while I'm having my breakfast, just to kind of, I don't know, double firm it, I suppose. And then I find that actually I can barely frown all day long, pretty much. I don't seem to move my head as much as I used to. And those static lines are definitely going to be kept at bay, I think, with this. So I don't think there's any need for me ever to go back to Botox. I don't think I will now. Who knows, like, never say never. I say these things sometimes and I decide that I do want to do it. It seems to prompt something in me to actually go and do it, but I don't think that I will. I don't want those dry eyes again. And if I don't care, you see, now about the dynamic lines anymore, and I used to, the older I've got, the less I care. Which is funny, isn't it? You think it'd be the other way, because it gets worse as you get older, but I'm not bothered about those in the slightest, not one little bit. So I don't see why I would go back to it. if I can hold the static lines off, if I can make them, they're still there, but they're very faint. And if I can keep them like that, then I can't see any reason. And I think I have seen on YouTube that you can go and start using frownies about 3 times a week after a while. So I've been doing this for about 6 weeks. So I'll carry on until the 2-month mark, and then I'll try and go 3 nights a week and then the other nights I won't do anything at all, and we'll see how I get on with that. So that's my best advice to you. If you don't want to go down the Botox route, give this a try. If you're stopping Botox, give this a try. Like I said, it isn't as good as Botox. It's never gonna be, is it? Because you can't freeze that muscle completely, but you can certainly retrain it not to work so hard. And also you can definitely improve those static lines with it.